And then got it jacked up, lifted up in there, took the cover off, wiped grease off the plug that I got to pull out to take track tension off. Now, you're probably wondering, that already looks loose, don't it? Well, that is how bad this thing's track tensioner is leaking grease out. And it won't say tension. All I did was jack this machine up, and that's how loose the tracks were already. And I didn't loosen them. Had probably been, this machine might have 2 hours of work on it total, since I just tightened those tracks back to where they should be. So this is what we got to do here, is this plug where this grease cert's at has got to come out. These tracks are tensioned by grease. You hook a grease gun on the end of that and you pump it, and it tightens these tracks up. Now, I got to pull that plug out and then push this idler in, and all the grease will come squirting out of that cylinder that's in there, and it'll allow this track to loosen up all the way the rest of the way, which I think is nearly there now, but I just want to double check and make sure it's all the way loose because it makes it easier. So we're going to get a wrench and we're going to loosen that up. I ain't sure what size this thing is. It looks like a 3/4. I'm hoping it is. Maybe it is. That's a 19. It might be smaller than that. I think it's the actual 3/4, which 19 3/4 should be the same thing, so it may be a 13/16. Yep. That's what it is. Maybe. I'm having a brain fart. 13/16 is bigger than 3/4. So it should be, may actually be an 18. I'm in 11/16, not 13/16. And that does not fit. Does it? Nope. It looks like it's actually an 18, which I don't think I have in here. There's the actual 3/4. We could try that. 3/4 would be a tad, I mean, not even enough to even matter smaller than a 19. But there is a little bit of a difference. There it comes. Loosen her up. Screw this plug out. Normally if this thing was tight it'd have pressure on it. But as bad as that tensioner is, I got the seal kit for it. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of pressure. I do see it though get loosening up some. About got her out. There it comes. Okay, there's the little plug that goes in there. Now that we got that out, I'm going to lay it all up here. I'm going to get on the backhoe. We'll be right back. We're going to shove that in once I get this tracks cleaned off. I think that is it. I felt it stop. That should be all the way loose, according to the way it looks. Right there. What I'm going to do, I see a lot of people do this several different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hook a chain around that track. The way these new Hollands sit, the track's behind the front end of the here. What these new Hollands set this tracks behind the front end there when it's pushed in, so I can't really get my bucket tooth behind it to peel it off. I really don't want to hook the teeth into the track with the sharp part, because then it's liable to break it, and I can't put this bucket on this back hole backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a chain through there and try to pick up and peel it off that way. You can take pry bars and have somebody spin it as you pry it off and take it off that way. But being I got the backhoe, I'm going to just do it this way because it'll probably be easier on me. One thing I am probably going to try to do carefully is I don't want to pull any of those lugs or cleats off that's on the inside that holds this thing in the rollers. And I'm going to try to be very careful doing this. Like I said, I ain't never done this, so I don't know how stout those things are. If I go to pull it on too much, they might pop out. Now, I don't want to do that because that'll be a new track we'll have to get. I'm hoping this works, but we'll see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crank that loader. I'm going to turn that track a little bit this way because it's got all that slack on the bottom. Hopefully it'll give me enough slack on the top to where I can get it off. There we go. There it comes. Now, grab my flashlight. I'm gonna show y'all this. I just seen it. Did y'all see this with me? Yeah, like grease. I don't think that's supposed to be on this end. So there's my tensioning problem. That sucker's shot. I'm gonna have to get that thing out of there. Well, I've worked for an hour and a half. I think it's been around an hour and a half. It may have only been an hour, but I think it's been that long. I don't know. I've been out here working on this thing and trying to get this tensioner out. Yes, that is the tensioner that tensions the tracks. It has a little grease cylinder inside of it and a huge coil spring to take some of the shock, I guess, out of that cylinder. Let me show y'all what I ran into. That thing, from what I recollect and figure out, that it's supposed to just slide up in there and then be right up again that plate back there in the back where that crowbar is sticking through. And then when you take all this out with the tracks and everything, that'll all just slide right out. That way you can get to it and service it real easy. But there was a problem. Whoever had this loader the last time around, this carriage must have went bad on it, and it was rubbing into this plate right here where all that slides in. Well, y'all might be able to tell this thing is perfectly shaped the size of the inside of there. Well, to keep it sort of tight, but it's supposed to just slide right in and out. Well, that thing had been up in there where that had been rolled on, or it went bad at one time, and I could not get this to come out, which is probably what's telling me the reason why that was the way it was, because it's been this way, not as severe as it is now, but it has been a problem since we bought this machine. Now, my guess is that's why it wasn't ever fixed, because the seal kit's 40 bucks. It's like $40 and some change. I forget what it was. But I like to never got that thing bent down to get it out. I tried crowbars, I tried everything I had. I finally went and found the old broke spear we had, and I jammed it in up underneath a little groove it has, pulled it over and took the backhoe and pushed down to get it to bend that little bubble it had in there out. Now, I could not get in there to beat it. The way the top is, it was recessed back in there far enough where you couldn't get nothing in there, even at an angle, to beat it with a sledgehammer. So that's why I had to do that, because that was my only option to get it out. If I could have done it the way I did it, I don't know how I'd ever got it out. They should have made that steel and that housing on the bottom heavier, so that way that couldn't ever happen. And then maybe, I don't know, that's a flaw that New Holland put into this machine. So, but it is all apart now. I've got everything. I got the tensioner out. I got this idler, the front idler's out. It is bad. I'm gonna have to replace it. The rear idler back here is shot. I've got it already. That thing was, if I didn't say it earlier, I think it was $250 is what I give for that thing. Or $280. It's $250 or $280. I can't remember. The rest of them I found was 300 bucks, or I think the other cheapest one was $290. So I guess it was $280. I'm imagining that one's probably going to be more. It's probably going to be $300 for that one or more. But I'm almost certain the rest of the idler rollers are alright. It's just these, the carriage, I think they're called carriage rollers. They seem to be alright. I already felt all of them before. But That there's got some play in it, so we're gonna wind up having to replace it too. That's another 250 bucks. Not exactly what I wanted to see, but it is what it is. The sprocket's in good shape, so that's good news. But we'll get this thing off. I'll go ahead and get another of them on. We're gonna have to see what all I gotta do to get that thing out. It looks like this will just slide right out, and then I can access that little, I don't know if you can see that, there's a round plunger right here. That's what pushes this thing forward. That's what I gotta get out of there to tension this thing, to work on it. So, we'll see.